Is education an economic enterprise or a fundamental human right? Hi, and welcome back to the School Crisis, where we talk about learning and education. Today, we're going to tackle a big question. Let's start by looking at how education is becoming a global industry. Some experts refer to this as edu business. Scholars like Anthony Berger talk about education as a commodity, something that can be bought and sold. Stephen Ball points out that now large corporations are selling teacher trainings or educational materials. Pasi Sahlberg from Finland criticizes what he calls global education reform movement, or GERM. He warns it's like an epidemic that spreads and infects education systems through a virus. Sahlberg worries that global standardizations erases the uniqueness of local education systems. On the flip side, organizations like United Nations see education as a fundamental human right. Through initiatives like Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals, they are working to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education for all, at least on paper. UNESCO's Global Education Monitoring Report highlights the many players involved in education, not just governments, but also private companies, nonprofit, and communities. They emphasize that it's not just about public versus private. It's about our beliefs and values regarding education. The bottom line is that ideology matters. This is why ideas are at the center of the arguments for and against the role of non-state actors in education. So, do we see education as a public investment or a private consumer good? International assessments, like PISA rankings, have introduced what's called governance by numbers. This can pressure countries to focus on statistics over students. Gita Kamsi, in 2023, notes that relying too much on numbers can oversimplify the complex realities of education. Let's talk about the International Baccalaureate, or IB. It started with support from UNESCO and now operates both public and private schools across 160 countries. The IB partners with organizations like the UN and the OECD to promote global education goals. The IB is a perfect example of this debate. It sits in the middle, working with public and private sectors to provide quality education worldwide. It works with UNESCO's sense of education as a human right, but also OECD's sense of education as a business. So what's the takeaway? It all comes down to our beliefs about education. As UNESCO reminds us, choices regarding what is taught, how, by whom, and where reflect the competing worldviews and aspirations of parents and other education stakeholders. The bottom line is that ideology matters. UNESCO 2021. Understanding these perspectives is very important to understand how governments and educational reforms are made. What we believe about education, what is behind the policy, and the ideologies that are behind the policies are very influential into the way schools work. So what do you think? Should education be an economic enterprise or a fundamental human right? Or it could be like a mix of both. Please share your thoughts in the comments below so we can start shaping what we would like to see from the education system tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.